After seeing the warm coffee inside that cup, I knew I could not stay there any longer. Every part of my body was telling me to leave that place immediately. I turned around and walked toward the exit as quickly as I could. The feeling of being watched followed me with every step. When I finally reached my car,
Come on!
I locked the doors and started the engine right away. My hands were shaking so badly that I almost dropped the keys.
Go!
I pulled onto the highway and drove away from the diner without looking back. The morning sun was rising higher now, but it did not make me feel any safer. The strange events from the night kept replaying in my mind. The woman from the diner, the newspaper article, the abandoned building, and the coffee that was still warm. None of it made any sense. I kept driving for almost an hour before I noticed something unusual. A road sign for Ashford County appeared ahead of me. The moment I saw those words, an old memory returned to me. Years ago, my grandfather had told me stories about Ashford County. Most people treated those stories like local legends, but my grandfather never laughed when he talked about them. He always spoke as if they were real. One story in particular came back to me. He once told me that some places do not belong to the present. He said certain roads and buildings become trapped between different times. According to him, people who entered those places sometimes saw things that no longer existed, and sometimes they met people who had been gone for many years. At the time, I thought those stories were nothing more than ghost tales. Now I was not so sure.
No!
The farther I drove into Ashford County, the more uncomfortable I became. The fog returned once again. The sunlight seemed weaker. Even the air felt colder. A feeling deep inside me kept saying that the night was not over. Something was waiting for me ahead, and I was about to find out what it was. A few miles later, I noticed an old warning sign beside the road. The sign was damaged and difficult to read. Most of the writing had disappeared over time. Only a small part of the message remained visible. The sign warned drivers about the county border ahead. For some reason, that warning made me uneasy. I could not explain the feeling. The closer I got, the stronger that feeling became. Then something happened that nearly stopped my heart.
No!
My headlights suddenly stopped working. One moment everything looked normal. The next moment darkness covered the entire road. I could no longer see the highway ahead. The trees disappeared into the darkness. I quickly pressed the brakes and stopped the car. My breathing became faster. I tried to turn the headlights back on. Nothing changed. I tried once more. They still would not work. The engine continued running normally. The dashboard lights were still glowing, but the road ahead remained dark. That was when I noticed someone standing ahead of me. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Then I looked again. The figure became easier to see. A tall person stood in the middle of the highway. The person was completely still. The person made no sound at all. A cold feeling moved through my entire body. Something about that person seemed familiar. Then I understood why. It was the same person I had seen near mile marker 27 earlier that night. The same silent figure from before. This time, the figure was much nearer. The figure slowly lifted its head. I could not see the face clearly. The darkness hid most of the details. But I knew the figure was staring directly at me. I wanted to drive away immediately. I wanted to leave that place forever. But my body refused to move. For several long seconds, I sat frozen behind the steering wheel.
That's impossible.
Then the figure stepped forward. The figure took another step. Then the figure moved forward again.
That's impossible.
Each step brought it nearer to my car.
What?
My heart was beating harder every second.
No!
Then I noticed something else. Several figures appeared behind the first one. More silent figures emerged from the darkness. They stood motionless beside the road. They were watching. They were waiting. Suddenly, the highway no longer felt empty. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I had never truly escaped mile marker 27.
Liam.
The road had been leading me towards something all along, and whatever had been waiting at the end of that road had finally reached me. If you enjoyed this story, please support the channel by liking this video and subscribing for more horror stories. Please leave a comment and tell me what you thought about this story. Thank you for watching this video. Take care of yourself. And remember this lesson. Never trust a road that seems to continue forever.